All right. We're live here. Welcome, everyone. We're streaming on YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, etc. So today we're going to be doing a guided mindfulness meditation. It's Saturday morning where I am in California, 10:18 a.m. My family just went to ballet, and I found myself at home alone right now. And I thought, I haven't meditated yet today. And I'm here with my puppy dog sitting at my feet right now. So I thought that this was a nice opportunity to calm the mind, bring gentle awareness to my experience, kind of help me process leftover energy from the week and enter the weekend with a sense of balance, clarity, and a sense of resilience that I can meet whatever comes without reacting to it or needing to judge it or suppressing it. May we meet our moments with care and a sense of groundedness. And a lot of that starts by actively noticing sensations in the body, how we're breathing, what's coming up for us emotionally, to notice if we're carrying any tension. Some of us may be dealing with anxiety or depression or addictive tendencies, maybe compulsive thoughts or behaviors. Pause to sense into the layers of what's in our body, layers of what we're carrying, with gentle awareness. Where we're not judging our experience to be good or bad, right or wrong. We're simply noticing what's here and practicing just being with it. So we're going to be doing a brief guided meditation together. If anything feels too overwhelming or too intense, feel free to back off. Find a safe space to rest. Feel free to type comments or reflections or questions in the chat section if you wish. Happy to dialogue. And so, if you wish to close your eyes gently or look downward to limit any visual distractions, we can soften the muscles of the face. Noticing our breath, feeling our body on the ground or the seat. Notice any areas of the body where we're holding on. Maybe we're bracing against something. Maybe there's some unnecessary tightness in the body. So we're not judging this experience to be good or bad, right or wrong. We're bringing a gentle awareness to the body. Breathing in and out. This gentle awareness. Noticing what different kinds of sensations we can feel around the belly or the chest, with the head. Maybe noticing sensations of warmth or coolness. Sensations of contraction or expansion. And sensations of resistance or acceptance. Sensations of dryness or moisture. And what would you name the emotion that you're feeling right now? Be asking the body what emotion is present. Is there an underlying emotion that we could open to more? As we breathe in and out with more and more parts of the body, this whole body breathing. Breathing this gentle awareness throughout the body. a sense of gentle care for this experience, for our body, for our life. This restful, healing awareness of our whole body breathing. Resting in this loving awareness. Each moment as it arises. Sensing into the fullness of this experience as it is. feeling centered in the body, and claiming our whole body for ourselves, not allowing other people's energies to reside in our own body. Allowing all the parts of ourselves to be fully accepted in the body. Remembering to breathe fully and naturally throughout the day. Feeling contact with the earth below, the sky above. Grateful for every moment that we have to be present for this life. Having the courage to bring awareness to whatever's here, not needing to judge it or resist it or change it. This very simple, gentle awareness of this unfolding life. Noticing how these sensations are changing. Breathing with the whole body. Noticing the layers of emotion in the body. Notice what we can welcome. with gentle awareness. And noticing the sensations throughout the body. Sensations around the toes and the feet, ankles, calves, knees, legs, pelvic area, belly, spine and the back, heart and the chest, shoulders, arms, the hands, the neck, the throat, the face, the eyes, the brain, the skull, sensing into the whole body as it breathes. And softening any resistance that we have, and surrendering to whatever's here, allowing it to be felt with this gentle awareness, and allowing it to change over time. And may we bring the same gentle awareness to our unfolding experience for the rest of the day. Be feeling our body on the ground, on the seat. We're taking a deep breath or two. Wiggling the fingers or the toes. And slowly opening the eyes whenever you're ready. So I hope that practice was helpful for you. Um, if you have any questions or comments that you'd like to share, please feel free to write them in the chat section. Um, Realized I didn't introduce myself earlier. My name is Sean Fargo. I'm the founder of Mindfulness Exercises. Um, I was a Buddhist monk for a couple years in Asia. I worked at Spirit Rock Meditation Center for 5 years, supporting Jack Kornfield and Sharon Salzberg and all the teachers who have day longs and events there. Um, Worked in healthcare for a couple years, teaching doctors how to prescribe mindfulness to their patients who are struggling with addiction and chronic pain and um, depression and trauma and all sorts of things. And I've been teaching mindfulness in prisons and for nonprofits, helping people to teach mindfulness in schools and counseling centers and coaching programs, um, all sorts of different environments, sports teams, governmental agencies. Um, my meditations and teachings that I follow are typically secular, although there's some Buddhism in some of them, and Taoism. But yeah, just trying to integrate this gentle awareness into more and more parts of my day, um, in my family life, in my professional life, um, trying to be present for all the emotions that come up in life. Um, so happy to speak to any questions that people may have around mindfulness or meditation. Some of you may have interest in teaching mindfulness or leading meditations for others, and so happy to speak to that. I know that having a dedicated mindfulness practice can be challenging. To find time to meditate each day, to bring this um, presence to our bodies, our breathing, our emotions, etc. So, I know a lot of these things can be challenging, and happy to support you with your own mindfulness practice. Some of you may be therapists or coaches, yoga teachers, so happy to share any thoughts that I have around helping you to help others, whether you're, sharing mindfulness professionally or just with your family or your friends who may be going through a tough time. Um, you're really just here to support you. I'll be doing more live, um, meditations and Q&A over the coming um, days and weeks. And I'll post a place where you can add it to your calendar with like a recurring link that you can come to practice regularly with me. So that we can form community, we can practice together, support each other. We actually have a live like online community that's free where people can join to find you know um, people to connect with. In fact, the community is called Connect, and so I'll post a link in the chat section where you can join community and join us for live meditations if you'd like to. Um, because we all need community. We need places like this where we can practice together, learn from each other, support each other, and practice being present. Practice opening to what's difficult to open to. Practice sensing into what's here without reacting to it, without running away from it, without suppressing it, without exaggerating it. It's an art to be able to turn towards whatever's here with a sense of gentleness, openness, centered groundedness. That takes practice. And it's not something that certain people are born with and certain people are not born with. It's something that we all cultivate. There are these patterns in our life that we consciously or subconsciously develop through habits. And so, can we make mindfulness a habit? Whether we're in guided meditation or formal, meditation, or in our daily life, can we bring the same quality of awareness to conversation, to holidays with our loved ones, to our time exercising, cooking, doing laundry? Can we bring the same quality awareness to our work and sensing into the experience of working, of planning and thinking? Because I know a lot of us, myself included, get distracted. We get caught up in, really craving a certain outcome or expecting something. Or a lot of us have fear. We're afraid of what might happen. And so a lot of our behaviors and thoughts are around um, fearing what we don't want. So, all these, I think my dog is barking right now because maybe she's afraid someone's going to break into the house. And so, can we meet these fears, you know, understand that they're part of our humanity or part of being a dog. And, sense into what's actually happening. Usually 99% of the time, we're actually safe in this moment. We're actually okay. And so, can we honor that and sense into that sense of safety, that sense of okayness? We can meet fear without judging the fear to be good or without judging the fear to be bad. And say, oh, yes, my old friend fear, I know you come and go, and there's more to me than fear. We can meet whatever emotion is here. Notice how it changes over time, especially if we soften the judgments around it. Remember to breathe. Remember to feel our body on the ground and the seat. To feel this embodied awareness, or what many people call loving awareness. Not to say that we have to love everything all the time, per se, but just a quality of awareness that's not resisting or fighting what is, but rather opening to what's here and allowing ourselves to experience it. And, you know, deciding how we should respond or how we can respond with a sense of um, intention, wholesome intention, kindness, and that honors ourself with healthy boundaries, sensing into what's going to be healthy for myself without, say, being too codependent or, allowing other people's judgments or um, expectations to um, get in the way of us honoring ourselves. So, as mindfulness practitioners, may we develop or set aside time each day to develop this sense of self, sense of fully embodied self, in which we're able to relate to ourselves and to life with this quality of gentle, sustained presence. This is really what we're talking about when we talk about mindfulness and meditation. Sense of wonder for what's happening or what may happen in each moment. I see some comments on LinkedIn from Masakaba or Kita. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. And Samira, welcome. Kita said, I struggle to meditate. Yeah, that's understandable. When we struggle to meditate, maybe we can find a meditation that we struggle less with. Maybe there's a certain style of meditation, like sensing into the breath in the belly. We can feel our belly with our hand rise and fall with each inhale and exhale. We can practice cultivating the heart by sensing into just a simple sense of care that we may have for ourselves, our pet, or animal companion, maybe a spiritual figure, family member, cute little squirrel outside, but we can sense into care or love in the heart and cultivate that. We can sense into the bottoms of our feet as we walk. We can practice concentration or focus by, um, say, focusing on a phrase and repeat the phrase over and over. Or we can look at something either with our eyes open or visualize something and concentrate on that one thing. I used to practice visualizing a candle flame, and I found that to be very helpful for cultivating focus. We can practice sensing into sound through the ears. Can practice mindfulness of eating by sensing into taste, texture, sense of satiety, noticing what happens with the mind before we eat, during eating, after we eat. So there's all sorts of different kinds of meditations and mindfulness meditations that we can do. Um, we can practice having fun with meditation. Meditation doesn't have to be a chore or a to do that we scratch off our list, but rather something we can enjoy. We can have a comfy place to sit or lay down. We can play relaxing, nature sounds or Tibetan bells. We can light a candle, find a soft blankie, maybe make a cup of tea that we kind of cozy up with, and just practice noticing what we can notice through our ears and nose and our body. And we can remember that, most meditations and mindfulness practices are very healing. And most of us could use a little bit of healing from time to time. And so, in the practice that we did today, we can practice sensing into underlying emotions in the body, especially in the belly and in the chest. We can feel, is there an emotion underneath the emotion that I'm aware of? So there may be a sense of contentment and peace, joy. Other times there may be a sense of grief or heavy resistance to something. So can we open to these layers of emotion in the body without expectation or agenda, without trying to change it? Just kind of sensing into, like, how does this underlying emotion feel? And maybe asking, like, why is it here? What does it want to say? And if we practice non-judgment of it and just kind of allowing it to surface, allowing it to express, allowing it to change, oftentimes we find healing happens when we do that. We find that energy that's been here for a while starts to unlock and it starts to move. And it may feel unpleasant. But when energy is allowed to move like that in the body, in the heart, in the lungs, in the belly, throughout the body, and if we're able to breathe with it, surrender to the changing nature of it, we soften around it and just kind of allow ourselves to fully feel it and fully allow it to move, usually we find a lot of healing. And we realize that some of the behaviors and thoughts that we have um, that may be a little harmful, those start to soften as well. It's like, oh, I don't need to run away from what was here, or I don't need to resist it by, you know, having a compulsive thoughts around something or doing something that was harmful to take me away from it. I can actually be again. I don't have to keep doing all these other things. I can soften and remember how to be here in my own body and to rediscover a sense of contentment with simply being, simply breathing, and simply opening to the beauties of the ordinary that's around us. You know, the softness of the chair, the simple, sensations of the sun on our skin, the refreshing taste of water. You know, how good it feels to not be needing so many things to happen around us. So we're rediscovering the beauty of simplicity. And we're rediscovering how resilient we really are when we remember to turn towards what's inside without an agenda or needing it to change. So we can make, meditation enjoyable, or we can remember how healing it is to hopefully incentivize us to practice more. So, Kita, I hope that was helpful. Lori on LinkedIn, hello. Hope that was helpful for you as well. And Samira. Yeah. And so, if anyone else has any other comments or questions, healing with Luri, hello. How are you? Yeah. So, really just here to support you with your mindfulness practice, your meditation. If you have any questions or requests, happy to support you. Yeah. So we have, so I was responding to Kita there, playing with some new functionality here. Not sure if people are able to see the links that I shared. They should be in the comment section, I believe. See, Courtney Scott. Thank you. I always enjoy how approachable and personal you share mindfulness. Thank you, Courtney. Oh, and thank you for listening to the podcast. I'm glad that you enjoy the podcast. I'll post a link to some of our podcast episodes just in case anyone wants to check it out. We have a podcast player on our website now that makes it easier to listen to our latest episodes about mindfulness and meditation, just to support you with being present in your life. Yeah. Do we have any other questions or comments, maybe reflections about your meditation, how to bring mindfulness to certain parts of life? Maybe questions around teaching mindfulness or sharing mindfulness with others, whether you want to do that professionally or personally. I'm here to support you if you have any questions at all. And also for people on Instagram, are you able to hear me okay? If you could just put a thumbs up or a yes if you can hear me. So I think our Instagram feed is a little bit different than our YouTube and LinkedIn feed. So I just want to make sure that people on Instagram can hear okay. Maddie, yes, thank you for confirming that. Got a thumbs up from Healing with Lori. Yeah. Yeah, so we're live. It's almost noon for me on Saturday. Thinking about going outside for a walk with my puppy dog, who is hopefully starting to relax and take a nap next to me. Hello, life coach Christina Mai. Hello. Lori, you still don't see the links. Let's see if I post a link now, if it'll show up for you. Yeah. So, so the meditations that I bring here and to mindfulnessexercises.com are largely informed by my time at Spirit Rock Meditation Center, where I worked for 5 years. And also as, I was a monk for a couple of years, so a lot of the meditations I did at the monasteries are brought here as well, but I bring them without, say, a Buddhist flavor. It's more just about cultivating presence, without any dogma or anything like that. I joined the monastery without really knowing anything about Buddhism, actually. I joined just because I wanted a place where I could meditate all day. I thought, monks meditate all day. Maybe I'll try that. Okay, so I just posted one of the links on LinkedIn directly. I noticed that the links I was posting weren't going up on LinkedIn for some reason, so I apologize for that. But yeah, for me, it's really just about, being present, non-dogmatic. You don't have to believe anything per se. It's really just about being kind to ourselves and to others. Noticing what we can notice so that we can live with more peace and freedom. And there's something beautiful about Um, Developing a sense of confidence that we can be with anything, that we can meet whatever's here without reflexively judging it to be good or bad, right or wrong, that we can be with it without um, fear of it overtaking us. We can maintain a sense of safety within. We can stay grounded. We can meet whatever's here, inside or outside, with a sense of sustained, gentle kindness, and we can maintain healthy boundaries so that we don't um, let, people walk all over us or take advantage of us. We can still maintain a sense of strength in knowing, what our boundaries are out of kindness for ourselves. So, um, a lot of companies and organizations these days are looking for mindfulness practices to support their colleagues and to support their staff to be resilient like this, so that there's not a lot of um, aggressive managing of others, judging others, to maintain a healthy workplace where we're all kind to each other, or at least not violent to each other. And so, what we're finding in Fortune 500 companies and hospitals and schools and um, retail locations, we're finding that mindfulness training increases their bottom line, and it produces a healthier, more enjoyable workplace. And so, I encourage you to bring mindfulness to your workplace in whatever ways you can. You don't even have to call it mindfulness. You can call it emotional intelligence, kind awareness, presence. In some ways, it's just a way of respecting ourselves and others. So it doesn't really matter what you call it, but can you um, grow that seed of mindfulness into your workplace? Um, and it begins with ourselves by practicing it, but then, how can we communicate mindfulness to others in a way that's going to be receptive, in a way that's going to um, support the business or the organization's explicitly stated goals? What's the vision or the mission of the company or the group? What do they want? What are they struggling with? And then can we relate mindfulness to any of those things that leadership cares about? And how can mindfulness further what the group already wants, so that we don't necessarily, bring mindfulness from out of the blue? We can relate it to um, the goals or challenges that people already have. And as a result of this increased, demand for mindfulness in different groups and settings around the world, there's also an increased demand for qualified mindfulness and meditation teachers. And so, can we cultivate mindfulness ourselves as much as we can so that we can share mindfulness with more experiential understanding, more integrity based on our ability to be mindful with more and more types of things? with a sense of genuine care to help others rather than to be a celebrated rich guru. So, can we bring mindfulness to others, in very simple, relatable ways that feel practical and relevant to what they want? So, um, I think that it's important to keep mindfulness as accessible as we can. That's why I share a lot of free mindfulness meditations and worksheets and courses and guided meditation scripts at mindfulnessexercises.com. It's really just mainly a free resource, really. Um, and we also have some trainings and courses and certifications to support people to teach others in professional settings as well. Is it Kita says, thank you. It is. I understand it's all about practice to do it well. Then the focus will kick in. Yeah. And anyone can practice mindfulness, anyone can share it with others. Yeah, it just takes practice. It's like building a muscle. In the beginning, it might seem really hard to do your bench press or squats or to run a mile. But if you just stick with it and go in baby steps, you build that capacity. So with meditation, we can practice a 1 minute meditation as a baby step, or a 30-second practice of feeling the belly as we breathe. And then 2 minutes the next day. Just gradually building, gradually trying new practices. You can listen to a variety of different kinds of teachers or voices, different styles. See what resonates with us. Not everyone here today likes me. Some people might, hopefully, but not everyone will like me, and that's totally fine. Not everyone likes anybody. And so it's just a matter of finding, one or more teachers who we resonate with in some way, who we find helpful in some way, and check in, download a meditation or a podcast or join their community, go on retreat with them. And, just develop that habit, develop that practice of turning towards what's here with this gentle awareness, caring, curiosity, however you want to call it. Healing with Lori, thank you for coming. Thanks for checking out the website. Yeah, so it's a pleasure to be with all of you. Still open to any questions or reflections you may have around your mindfulness or meditation practice. If you have any questions about sharing with others, any question about the meditation that we did earlier today, happy to support you in any way I can. Maybe some of you are going through a difficult time and you might want to share, or, a time of joy. This morning I was cuddling with my 5-year-old daughter and we were drawing with crayon, and, she's just so, I don't know, happy. It just brought so much joy to me to be with her and to play. But whatever's coming up for you is welcome here. Any questions you have around meditation or mindfulness, um, anything at all, everything is welcome. If you just want to practice breathing, sometimes if we just take a few deep breaths and slow down, soften the body. Um, Ion United or Alan, hello, my friend. Hello. Thank you for your comment. Yeah, if we just slow down our breathing, softening the body. A lot of the times I like to soften the muscles around the eyes and the face and the jaw. And sometimes we'll brace ourselves, or we feel like we have to be someone, we have to do something or be ready. Sometimes we just have a little bit of tightness around our shoulders or our eyes or our jaw, our belly. So just noticing any tightness or constriction. Maybe we're kind of doing, stressed that maybe we don't have enough time or money or people actually love us or whatever it is. And so we carry this tension and we carry this tightness and we carry this fear or expectation. And all that's normal, all that's understandable. And so the invitation of mindfulness is to bring this gentle awareness to what we're carrying, this gentle awareness to what we're holding on to. And to slow down a little bit sometimes, to also practice just being, or to at least just notice how we're doing things. And it's not to say that any of it is right or wrong, good or bad. It's definitely understandable and common, and we all do it. But when we notice what's here, and if we allow ourselves a moment to pause with it, it usually gives us enough space or freedom to choose how we respond. So if we bring this gentle awareness to what we're carrying, allow it to be felt, allow it to change, allow ourselves to sense into what might be deeper within. We usually allow healing to happen. We usually remember, oh, yes, I remember what this is like to carry so much or to feel like I'm caught on this wheel. Or maybe we remember a sense of peace when we sense into just a simple way of being. And we remember who we really are. We remember what it's like to reconnect with our soul or our heart or our body or my sense of who I really am or who we really are or what life is like in a human body at this time. Puppy, how you doing? Puppy. I have a middle-aged puppy. Yeah. You're a sweetheart, huh? Yeah. So mindfulness is something we can all do, something that we can just practice day by day, sensing into the breath and the body, sensing into what energies we're carrying, energies around us. I know in the United States these days, there's a lot in the news, and um, everyone's talking about certain things, and there's a lot of energy that different groups are carrying. Oh, we can learn, we can listen, we can sense into what those energies are on every side. And usually we can sense into what people's values are, what people's fears are, how rational different people are, some more than others. We can notice our own resistance to different energies around us. But with mindfulness, the invitation is to keep listening, keep sensing into the layers, maintain some sense of curiosity for how these layers unfold. Listening to different parts of ourselves from our past or present. Do we feel aligned between our intentions, sense of heart, our intellect, body? Arun, I'm doing well, thank you. How are you? Yeah. And so many of us could use just moments of peace, moments of um, being rather than doing, moments in which we just check in with ourselves like, oh, yes, what can I feel in the body? What's here right now? These moments of kindness, simple breathing, these moments of reconnecting with our body on the ground or the seat. So hope this was helpful for you. Thank you for joining me today. Really appreciate your time. And I wish you all well. Thank you so much. Feel free to check out our website at mindfulnessexercises.com if you'd like. And I wish all of you well. Thank you so much.